Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Keeping It Real. I'm your host, David King. I am alongside, which is now my co-host, Fred Cilbrith. The Sheriff Dave Goodman and Leon.
Hi,
Which these guys also have their own shows. So we're bringing, I think, three minds all together. And today we're going to talk about the young people and how they really just don't get all the stuff they do that makes no sense. You know, we were talking before the show, and a lot of stuff don't make sense. Like we were saying, how you gonna be young, have babies, you can't support them, you don't have the money for it. The way this economy is, it straight sucks. But you continue making babies.
Because mommy and daddy take care of them. Mommy.
Yeah, exactly. So without further ado, let's start with Goodman. Dave, since you already said you first. You first.
Whoa.
What is your take on this? What is your take on this?
You know, honestly speaking, I mean, it's sad that it's happening. Okay, very sad. Because, you know, there's a lot of young girls that I know out on the streets, and I know a lot of young girls that live in my neighborhood, that they get trapped. And the problem is, it's not that they're trapped. They're in this environment in the city by itself. That, hey, this guy lives next door. I'm gonna have sex with him. I'm gonna go, and one thing leads on to another. And then what happens is she could be 15, 16 years old. The guy that she's dating is probably about 25, 26. Okay, and what happens is she gets caught in the middle. Ooh, mommy, 3 months later, I'm pregnant. But I'm not saying honestly. That is true. But now, mind you, in the state of Connecticut, I forgot what law it runs under, but there is a law out there that says if your child at the age of 16, or matter of fact, the law also reads that at the age of 16 you're considered an adult.
You can still go out with them.
Right.
Yeah,
So
there's a law on that. I
right.
know that. Now,
But now
Like
the
here,
whole
it's
now
16.
now
Yeah,
the whole
law.
thing to it is the whole thing to it is now she's trapped. She's with this guy. A, he probably doesn't have a job.
Good chance.
B, he's probably out there doing all the wrong things.
Yep.
C, he's probably out there selling drugs to support the kid.
Oh, there's a
now.
real good chance.
Okay, I mean, honestly speaking, let's get real. Okay, we're gonna keep it real.
Yeah, let's keep it real.
You know, I mean, honestly, I mean, looking at it like different ways. Okay, I might be white. Okay, I have an interracial family. My daughter's Puerto Rican.
okay.
I have one of my my sister's kids. Her husband's from Guatemala.
Oh.
Okay, talk about interracial families. I have that, so I know for a fact that things do happen. But here I am. Now listen to this.
Okay.
I have a daughter that's Spanish.
Okay.
Okay. My daughter's mother's Spanish.
Okay.
Okay. My sister, she's half, one of them is half Spanish and half white. Okay, my other sister is half Spanish and half white. I got my brother that's white. I got another brother that's half Spanish, half white.
Gee.
Okay, I mean, there's 9 of us total. Okay. One of my sisters, which I got to give her credit, I mean, her and her husband, I mean, she doesn't talk to me because of certain problems, but you know what? I still got to give her credit. You know why? She came from a broken down family. Okay? Broken down family. And when I mean broken down family, don't think because I might be as old as I am, you break down. When your mother and your father separate, that's a broken down family. And there's nothing that nobody can say differently. It's a broken down family, okay?
True.
My father walked out when I was 7 years
I've
old.
been through that.
My father walked out when I was 7. But I'll tell you what. A, I had a hard life. B, I'm not going to say I'm no saint, okay, because nobody's a saint.
You ain't never lie.
Okay, but I mean, you know, I mean, it's incredible to say There's nobody in this world that's a saint, and if you are, let me know, because
They-
even the president of the United States ain't a
Bring
saint.
him to me.
Okay,
If
I
you find
mean,
him, bring him to me.
I mean, but you got to realize, I mean, these young ladies that are having the kids, they get themselves caught out in this trouble, man, and it's not easy to get up. Now, here was a logic. Say, for instance, it's your daughter. I'm gonna use you for an example.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
She could be
Your
jumping out of
daughter
windows.
comes home. Right. Your daughter comes home and she tells you that she's pregnant. Okay. Now your daughter's 15 years old. All right. What are you gonna do? I mean, honestly, think about it, because here goes a catch to this. Now, your daughter's 15. She's dating a 24-year-old. Guy's no good. Okay. He doesn't have a job.
I love where this is going.
Okay. How's she gonna support that child?
She's not.
No, she is. The state.
No.
That's going to be her plan.
Well, that's her plan. But guess what? Until she's to that age, guess what?
You
got
I got to do it because I'm the father.
Right. Or you're the mother. You're the parent.
Exactly.
She bring the
Right.
baby
So you're
on
you're
you.
right. If she's bringing the headache on
Yeah,
to her.
Leon, I know
Now,
you've been sitting in the car. I'm sorry.
Now, here you
I know
go.
you keep going. Leon, what is your take on this? I know Dave, he won't stop. So
I mean, you know, I've been through that myself. You know, too. When I was young, I wasn't have a good life myself like I want to. You know, my father, left my mother again. With a young girl,
Right.
but then he went back to the army, so he chose the military instead of being home with the family.
well,
So that was his thing. Now go back. Now I'm gonna talk about these young boys in Bridgeport. Now these young boys, like you said, I'm gonna say over day. When me and my girlfriend, right, when the car messed up, there was about 5 young boys in the street on the bike.
Right.
This car kept honking at these young boys.
'Cause they
Other
didn't
young
care.
boys give a finger up at them.
Right, they don't care.
So the guy in the car tried to hit them. Young boys.
I would have did the same thing, but you know what? Don't do it because it's not legal.
I
But,
was
you
gonna say,
know.
hey, don't hit them young boys and kill them, man.
Right.
He actually tried to turn them over.
I-
So the young boys come back around. Now 5 young boys riding on. Now this is not all black. This is mixed. Puerto Rican, white. Well, they're all mixed.
Right.
Come back around and make his own story. Each one of 5 of them boys probably carrying a gun there, probably, because they were riding hard trying to catch that guy. But you know what he did? He ran him back down on the guy. But them young boys around there where he at looking for him. See this guy flying so quick, man. He don't know which way to go. So he must have went from Bridgeport, but he hit the highway. Them young boys were trying to get him. Now, think about like you say, a lot of these young boys, they don't have home training. They should have home training. You see them young boys, they got the bikes up in their ear. That is the dangerous thing
Pants
in the
hanging
world.
off their- you know
Pants
what?
hanging off their butt,
They
walking
do.
down the street. You tell a young boy, I hear guys say, hey, young boy, why don't you pull your pants up? He's pulling it back down where you can see it all.
Hey, I mean, it's,
They're holding their pants trying to run from the cops.
yeah, there you go, yeah.
You're gonna trip on themselves.
He run from the cop, he tripped.
Exactly.
Could I see a young boy up there?
You know, my problem-
The cop just picked him up.
My problem to that subject is, and I'm not going to touch that subject too much, because the simple fact of the problem is that's what we have. But I'm gonna tell you what can happen on that situation is 99.9% of the time when you have guys riding that deep, and just like he said,
One
they
of them carrying
could,
something.
and one of us carrying something, and can it be a gang? It could be a gang officiation of doing something wrong to join that gang that the street gang is out there on. And let me tell you something. Don't think you don't have gangs in this city, because
Oh, you definitely do.
You know, but you're mayor. But you're mayor. Okay. Let's go back to a couple of articles in the Connecticut Post. Okay. You go back and read those articles. The city of Bridgeport does not have gangs.
That's propaganda.
But
That's a nice
that's
cover-up.
I mean, then 2 weeks later, which was kind of funny, Connecticut Post, which I don't know if they did this to slap him in the face or what, but I mean, you got to look at the article. It says, gang members fight outside of court over case. Now, wait a minute. I mean, you put this in my head 2 weeks ago that you don't have gangs in this city, but now all of a sudden the Connecticut Post is reporting that the city of Bridgeport has gangs. So you tell me, where is the lies coming from?
They're giving you mixed signals, is what it seems like.
You know what?
Well, they're giving you mixed
They're trying to
signals
cover their own
because
tracks.
they're trying to cover their own tracks. But you also got to remember, son, you know, as being a young adult, are you in college right now?
Yes, I am.
What college are you in?
Housatonic.
Housatonic. Now, let me ask you a question, because somebody came home and gave me a number the other day. How many kids do you think graduate from Housatonic School?
Ooh, nice.
I would say probably about
1,000?
Thank you. 1,000 or less.
That's all. Maybe 500.
Maybe like 500.
Maybe 500.
I would say
8%.
probably about 45%.
Yeah, look,
8%.
8%.
8%. Okay.
And I say that because their graduation class ain't never big.
Right.
And, you know, I heard it once when they said, you know, those who do graduate are sitting in that ceremony.
Mhm.
You are part of the selective
Group.
few. Because
Right.
you know why?
Because you made it.
You know, no. The thing with having these two guys on here, and no disrespect, you guys are the older generation. Our generation are the most youngest and
Stupid.
thank you. but the problem with all that is that we are going to be the ones to run this state, and yet we have not the education and not the brain or the
No
knowledge to do anything.
But you
Well,
know,
I'm surprised that you brought that up because let me hit you off on that one. How old are you?
I'm 27.
Okay, you're
Same here.
27. 27. Okay, I'm 41. How old are you?
I don't even want to say it.
oh, no, man. I would say 22. no,
Well,
man.
really, how old are you?
I am 68. I'm going 70.
Okay, 70 years old. Okay.
Just about.
So you got 30 years on me. No, listen to what I'm going to use for an example. Just an example, okay? You got 30 years on me, right?
Yes.
All of that stuff that was happened from behind. Just think about this, what I'm saying, okay? That happened 30 years ago.
Yeah.
You're paying for that.
Oh, yeah.
And the tax bracket and everything else with the Social Security,
I'm
with
paying
everything, you're paying for it because you're paying a higher tax bracket and everything else. Now, how old are you?
27.
27. So now, wow, geez, God, I wish I was that age again. But now here you go, okay? Because this is just a math game. Just listen to what I'm saying. The math game to what they're trying to calculate you at.
Right.
Okay, so you're 27, right? So that gives you, wow, 13 years, 14 years. 14 years, okay? I'm paying 14 years right now in taxes on the mistakes that we had made 14 years ago. Okay, now, figure this one out. You're 27, right?
Right.
Okay, now I'm in a double whammy because I'm paying for both of you now. Okay? So now figure this out. You're 27.
Right.
He's 70. I'm 41. You're 27.
Not yet.
Okay? So now figure all this out. The math game to what's going on here.
I'm going there.
Okay? He's paying 30 years because I'm 30 years younger. He's already paying 30 years ahead. Now, when I go into that tax bracket, when you guys get to my age, I'll be paying what he's paying right now, 30 years behind for all the stupid mistakes that we made.
So basically what
And
you're
we'll be
saying.
paying 10 times more of that about on the next
No, I wanna-
generation behind us.
I want to mention this, but yeah. Excuse me. I know we all smoke, like the young generation, like y'all. Actually, the fugitive.
That's what I'm
See,
saying.
the generation lines is past it already.
Mhm.
But see, the old generation still trying to hold on.
Right.
But the young got to step in that the old ones step
Well,
out.
that's the problem. And see, that's the problem what you
Exactly.
just said. How do the young ones come in? Now, listen to what I'm going to say.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that you brought that part up.
Yeah.
How do the young ones come in to fix our problem? Well, and let me explain this to you too, because a lot, and this is just speaking to the young generation, because sooner or later you're going to want to buy a house. Okay? You're going to need money to buy that house.
Uh-huh.
You're going to have a woman that you love. You're going to put that ring on her finger, and you're going to cherish her for the rest of your life one day. Okay? Now, if you ain't working, how do you do it? Now, see, this is the problem that I keep saying. In the state of Connecticut, there's no jobs. You tell me in
Right.
Bridgeport, Connecticut, is there jobs here?
Nope.
No, there ain't, right? But let me rephrase this now. I remember back in the days, and this is going back in when I came to the city of Bridgeport. I came to Bridgeport when my father got out of the Air Force. That was in 1974. Okay, I was 1 year old. I landed here from the Missouri Air Force Base. Okay. Now, when you come to a area, okay, it's a whole different ballgame. Okay. You got major issues. A lot of these kids today in today's society will say like this: when you go to a military and you live on a military base, it's a whole different ball game than anything else. Okay, so that's one issue.
That's true.
The military personnel that was back in his days, they are considered not accredited in school. Basically, bottom line to it is because they're saying that their certificates from schools ain't probably nothing if they went to a military school. Now, that's a major issue. I mean, you have many issues that are out there, but people ain't touching those issues like they should. You know why? They're scared. The government is using you, just an example, as a number. And I'll tell you how they use you in a number. If anybody notices, when you drive your car, license plate is a number. Your social security is a number. Your driver's license is a number. You got to pay the UI bill, the gas bill, and all that stuff, a number. You got a credit card, that's a number.
Yep.
Let's go on and on and on. You're just a number in society today.
Yes.
And if people don't realize and wake up to that game and know what's truthfully happening to them, they're just a number.
They just a number.
So you're basically saying
all.
people are statistics.
That's all you are, is a statistic number.
Exactly. I mean,
You gotta make yourself. be
correct me if
somebody.
I'm wrong, but I've always looked at it where you look at our generation, your generation.
Yeah.
You guys came from what I like to call the last era that made sense because your parents got on you, taught you what to do right. There were still those few who did what they did, but the majority of y'all came out and became something. Our generation, we are parents and we're still kids ourselves, having little kids. So you have kids trying to raise kids that they don't know what to do because they don't even know what to do with themselves.
The problem with
and they
that
still
is-
want to be a kid.
Babies have.
But you've always
Thank you.
You've always said
That's
to me
what it
that
is.
it depends on how you're raised. Me and you were raised with right.
Yeah.
Some
But it doesn't really
parents
matter if
don't
you're
do
raised.
that.
It doesn't really matter if
Exactly.
you're raised by right or wrong. I mean, you can't look at it like that because sooner or later you're going to go out there and make a mistake.
Yep.
So you can't
Yeah,
really
that's
say. I mean,
Mistakes
I
is
was
part of
raised.
life.
Mistakes are a part of life,
And that's how you grow up.
And that's exactly. And if you don't make mistakes in life, then you haven't grown up until you get to that certain. Just like the other day, it was kind of funny, and I'm just going to bring this out to the light, okay? This young boy, he was about 23, 24 years old. He got arrested, and I'm gonna tell you something. The stupidest thing is he never been arrested for anything in his life. Okay.
So why do you get
But
arrested?
he shoplift. And the stupidest thing that he wanted, I mean, 24 years old, and he shoplifted.
Here we go, the young and stupid.
And there you go, because he was never in trouble, so he decided, hey, let me try this, and I think I can get away with it. But he didn't do it. But it's funny
What did
that
he
you
steal?
say that.
What did he
but,
take?
What was that? I forgot.
A video game?
Some video game or whatever.
Why am I not surprised?
But I mean, it's just, a video game. But this is the things that people go on. I mean, listen, you got problems. All right, when I was a store detective, and I was a store detective, I used to work for a company, and they were out in New York, okay? And let me tell you something. Before I even became a sheriff, I worked at 5 major stores, okay, 5. Walgreens was one of them, okay? Out of Walgreens, just in Walgreens alone, I was catching average of 15-year-olds to maybe 22-year-olds and even older people shoplifting. My highest grab out of Walgreens in one night, and it was Christmas Eve of 2000, and that was in 2011, of almost $2,000. Okay, and basically what those people were taking was the insures, the razors, the new expensive stuff that came out. That's what people shoplift for, because if people can't afford something at home, they're gonna steal this to go out there on the block to sell it for $5 to make that whatever it is, to make that money so they could get either some people do it to support the kids, and some women do it. I mean, some people just do it. Are these drugs? Okay, and when you have that kind of an issue going on, then you really probably need to look at the whole picture. And being the arresting officer is not easy. I can tell you that. Because this person probably doesn't have a criminal record, and it's up to the officer to make that arrest. Okay, but now put yourself in my shoes. If you were the arresting officer, how would you think about this? Also, I had a kid in West Hartford, Connecticut. No lie to you, I never forget this. Oh my God, wow. Bad situation, and it was stupid on my side. Very stupid on my side.
Okay.
The kid actually stole about maybe $60, $70 worth of candy bars. No lie to you. It's not funny, but I'm just saying.
No,
I mean, I can prove this stuff to you because I can go back and get the reports on it. But the whole problem to this is that this kid, he stole all his candy bars. But me being stupid and naive, like any class that you go to, a law enforcement class, a private school of teaching you the rights and wrongs of searching somebody. But I felt comfortable with this kid for some reason. You know, when you get that comfortability that this kid's not fighting you, he's not doing anything, oh shit, I mean, you know, what it is. And all of a sudden, when the officer came in, the officer from West Hartford PD, which I forgot the officer's name, but wow, he ripped me a new one, and I'll never forget that. But, you know, I mean, and honestly, because it was for my own protection, my own life, the kid had a gun on him.
See?
I mean, you know, and the bad thing about it is that, you know, when West Hartford PD came in there, and this was at the West Hartford Walgreens, right on the I forgot the name of the street because it's been so long that I worked for that company. But, you know, the average person or persons that people really don't understand is that we have so many problems, and it does come from youth. But it also comes from broken down families. It also comes from the families not being able to do what they really have to do to correct their child, because now we have this law: if mommy and daddy hits you, you know, call the police and have them arrested. But, you know, I think that law needs to go away.
You know,
because
I was just about to say that because the young kids, we're getting smart. We know our rights. It's not like, you know, when you guys were growing up and your parents only knew, and you get the young kids. We know we know our rights, and we know what we can get away with and what we can't get away with.
I mean,
when
DCF
you guys
and
come along,
and DCF and
tell us we don't respect the older people who've been there before us. We don't respect you guys.
But DCF, now, when, like me, okay, on cases like that, you had to call DCF involved. I mean, cases where I work right now, I still have to call DCF involved, because if the family is a broken down family and they're being evicted, I got to report that stuff to DCF. I'm not going to let the lady take her child to the streets and I don't know where that child's going or if that child's going to eat. I mean, hey, you know what? I might be a bad guy for doing whatever I have to do, but that child is the one that I got to really look out for.
You got a heart.
You know, because I mean, and you also got to remember, but the parent's going to call you every name in the book, okay? Because I've had that happen. I mean, there was several times that, you know, I got to serve TPRs, which TPR is temporary rights to being taken away from both parents, okay? I mean, you know, these are issues that are happening in our city, not by just older groups, but they're also happening by the younger generation. I just served somebody, I'm not going to say no names, okay, but I served somebody at 1106 North Avenue, young guy, okay, okay, you know, and it's funny because he got locked up thinking that the woman was going to do right, okay, and the woman didn't do right, so he got a TPR against him, and she has a TPR against her. But the problem is like I would tell anybody, I don't understand why we're in the situations that we're in, because the young generation is our next generation to actually be a president, a governor, a mayor, or he could have my job. I mean, basically, and that's the problem. And I try to keep telling these young people, listen, I made it to where I am because the simple fact of the reason is I had guidance. And I can tell you who my guidance was from. I remember when Mary Moran was the mayor of the city of Bridgeport, and I say this because I'm not going to say, no, I won't hold anything back, because the truth is the truth. When you have guidance when you're growing up. John Rickey, okay, about the situation that happened at the airport, he was my guidance person, okay? You had Luca Cardoza from the city of Bridgeport, when he worked for the mayor, they liked me so much that they wouldn't let me get in trouble. And let me tell you something, David DeFelice, when he worked for the city of Bridgeport, he was my guidance tutor. See, when you have people to help you and to tutor you, you go to the right places. But a lot of these people, they don't have that guidance. And that's what I'm trying to say, is if you work in City Hall, take one of these children, take them by the wing, and like I said, you really want to stop half of the stuff that's going on these streets. I can tell you how to do it. It's a simple plan. It's a simple plan. You know what needs to actually happen in this city, and I can say this. Okay, you started the Junior Police League. You did all that stuff. You started the youth counseling at the Bridgeport PD. But really, truthfully, you know what? If you really wanted to stop the problems that we actually have in our city with the youth, why don't you make a city council youth?
That sounds good.
Okay, and basically what I mean to do that is, or you could do it in the state of Connecticut too, is you pick certain kids from each town, okay? You could pick 2 from Bridgeport, you could pick 2 from Hartford, you pick them all from all over the place, and you bring these kids in and you actually physically make laws for the kids. That's what needs to be done, because 99.9% of it, the people that are living in this city, they're looking at us as the adults to make the laws. But I don't think it should be the adults to make the laws. I think it should be the children making their own laws on themselves. Because that way, if they break their laws, they know what they actually have to do. But, you know, and hold on, I'm not done. Well, let me just add this one point in. The whole problem to that is, and this is why I say to everybody, you elect these common council members into City Hall. What are they doing for our children? That's the problem that I have.
Collecting the money.
Go ahead, Leon.
But what I'm gonna say, Dave, like you said, and this is where I'm from my heart. I look at these young kids sometimes, and I be wondering about them out on that street. Young kids, babies.
Yeah.
You see kids like maybe 8, 9 years old in the street running around. You know, that's danger. But you know what it is? This is true. Kids like to follow a leader, other kids. And like some kids, I noticed that I had to talk to some because I do and I got big families. Kids, if you don't be friends with that kid, like you said, then you're not my friend. That's how they feel about you.
Oh, I can agree with that, but that's because
if this girl don't run with this kid, then she's not no friend to her.
Well, see, those are the problems, and that's where I'm getting at. See, if you know that's actually happening, those are the kids that you need to grab and start pulling those kids, because those kids you could turn around. And the problem is if you don't know how to turn those kids around, then guess what? Our education system is failing us by itself. Our teachers are failing us by itself. Our people in the city government are failing us by itself. And you know what? And I'll tell you, just like I would tell anybody, our president is failing us by itself too.
I mean,
well, you know,
question. I mean,
I will say again,
we're